trading broadly higher right now, and we're looking at the midday participants, and the rally has really been broad-based. We see that financials leading the way, up 2.5%, healthcare up 2.5%, technology up 2.3%, and consumer discretionary up 2.3%. We also have the major indices. The S&P 500 is up 2.1%. The NASDAQ is leading up 2.3%, and the Dow Jones is up 1.9%. Huge relief rally after what we've been talking about for most of the morning. Clinton emails, not an issue, at least as far as FBI Director Comey's concerned. Released that to congressmen, senators, and to the world at large. Global markets reacted this morning very positively. They received a boost from this now partial clarity into going into the election tomorrow, basically about 10 hours away. But here's the thing. I want to be careful of all of this because most of the polls are still showing a quite tight race. So while we have a little bit more transparency into focusing on the issues, the platforms, and who would be better for what sector or industry, there's still going to be volatility. I think there's also going to be more volatility as we start focusing in on the congressional contests that are going to be going on and reported on over the next 10 hours. So with that being said, I still think that while volatility, which has pulled back almost 2.5 points today, trading in that 1670 range on the VIX, it's still going to be something that we need to keep an eye on, but there is clarity. One of the sectors that's demonstrating a ton of strength right now is biotech. Biotech and drug stocks have been strength so far, as well as healthcare. You've seen the overall sector up 2.5%. That's that healthcare sector. And biotech right now is, if you look at the IBB, which is the ETF that tracks the biotech sector, that's up 3.7%. Quite impressive, especially since it's been under pressure for the better part of the last week. A name that we talked about last week that got beat up but is clearly outperforming right now is Biogen. BIIB, it was upgraded at Piper Jaffray to overweight from neutral. It's up about $18 or 6.6% at $295. Pretty incredible, but it looks like that stock has found some legs. We'll see. We'll actually cover that in Tech Talk. We're going to take a look at where the next resistance points are. Another name that's in the news and really in the upside is a managed care name, Humana. We've talked a little bit about how some of these stocks would actually fare with a Clinton presidency or a Trump presidency. We talked about that in the closing bell on Friday. Take a look at that. You can see that Friday 11/4. But Humana is trading around $175 as I look at it, up $773 or about 4.6%. It basically continues to just run to the upside after its post-earnings win streak. And I'm also seeing that the company continues to come out and say that their next quarter estimates are, they're in line and they're going to top those and they're going to continue to hit that. So very, very impressive in that space and those two names. Also, taking a look at some economically sensitive stocks, you look at the financial sector. Right now, it's on a tear, up about 2.5%. Banking names continue to outperform. Names like HSBC, which is up about $1.45 today, 3.9% at 38.48. You also could look at the overall sector and take a look at the sector ETF that tracks banks, called KBE. That's up about 2.5% or 86 cents. Bottom line is that you're seeing rising yields again. You're seeing that safety trade, the safe haven trade in the bond markets has pulled off a little bit now that we have a little bit of clarity concerning some of the election headlines that have come across. But again, seeing that trade now pull off, you see that it has benefited the banks. You see yields continuing to increase. The 2-year yield is up about 3 basis points at about 8.82%. You also have the 10-year, which has risen about 5 basis points to about 182. So you're seeing that the financials are benefiting from that, and that's definitely a sector that we're going to keep an eye on, and we're going to talk more about in Tech Talk at 3:30 Eastern Time. Taking a look at the sector that's really leading the way right now today, that's going to be the tech sector. You continue to see that the overall sector right now is up about 2.3%. And it's, obviously going to make up some ground now that we have a risk appetite back in the market. Microsoft is up now about $1.72. Google is up about $19.50. It jumped about 3% on Apple and is about 2.6% on Google. If you look at the Philly Semiconductor Index, that's up about 2.7%. So you see semis on the move, and they've been in the news a lot with a lot of mergers and acquisitions, as well as we still have some earnings out. So we're going to keep an eye on that. On the earnings front, we're going to Rockwell Automation. They announced beforehand, trading up about $6.55 at 124. Rallied about 5.5%, almost 5.6% after they topped their analyst estimates for the quarter, and they are issuing above consensus guidance for the remainder of the year. So very positive out of Rockwell, and has really set the tone. Some names that we want to keep an eye on that are going to be reporting after hour are going to be Oasis Petroleum, OAS. Right now, the stock is up about 4.9%. The options were pricing the potential for it to move about $1.38 either up or down. You can see that almost over half of that estimated move going into the announcement is already being played out. Obviously, in the catalyst being that the overall market is up. So, and we actually saw a nice rebound in crude. So we're going to continue to watch this into the close, but OAS up 4.9%. Datalink Corporation. The only reason why I want to mention Datalink, DTLK, is because we talked about it on Friday. There is a merger with Insight Enterprises. It's going to come under scrutiny. The merger price is coming out at $11.25 for Datalink. They do have earnings after hours. It's going to be interesting. Stock's up about 18% on the merger with Insight Enterprises. There's going to be some volatility around it. It's a lightly traded name. I just want to be careful because a lot of traders out there start to gravitate towards stocks that are on the move. Pricing in the potential to move about $1.14 into earnings, already moving up 18%. So the stock is moving, and that was priced in last week. As you can tell, you can go back to the tape and take a look. We talked about this. IM Gold is going to be out after hours. IAG is the ticker symbol. It's a $3.99 stock. It's down about 5.23%. Options were pricing in about a 27-cent move going into the earnings that are going to be announced after hours. Gold's getting hit. That safe haven trade, the inflation trade, is backing off a little bit. We're going to see if that continues. But IAG going into their earnings announcement after hours, down about 5.23%. Basically playing out within its move, maybe a little bit lower. And obviously it does have the catalyst to the downside because of the pressure in gold. News Corp is coming out. NWSA trading at $12.29, currently up about 3.41%. The options are pricing in for the stock to potentially move into the earnings announcement after hours, up or down 65 cents. You can see it's already up 3%, so you're seeing that play out. We're going to see if that continues after hours once they announce earnings. A large hospitality name, Marriott International, ticker symbol MAR, trading at $70.98. It's up about 1.97%. The options are pricing in the potential for the stock to move into the earnings around plus or minus $2.23. You can see it up about almost 2% right now, playing out almost half that move, a little bit better than half, almost 6-7%. So we're going to keep an eye on Marriott after hours, see what it moves like. In the pharmaceutical space, Marriott, Acadia, the ticker symbol ACAD. Stock's trading at $22.72, up about 4.79%. They're pricing in the potential for this stock to move almost 11% into earnings. Plus or minus 284 is what the options are pricing in. Want to keep an eye on this pretty closely. There is some volatility here, so if you do have Acadia or you're thinking about adding it to your portfolio, watch this one closely. Watch the after hours. We'll report on that on the closing bell. Finally, we want to take a look at Hertz. Hertz right now up about 5.73%. Options are pricing in after hours the move of potentially moving up or down around 292. So a big move in a $35 stock being priced into earnings. The last three that I want to touch on are going to be Arena, Kindred, and Priceline. Arena pricing in the potential Right now, it's looking like it's up about 3.24%, so it's right within the line of its move. We're going to keep an eye on that. Kindred Healthcare, ticker symbol KND, up about 4.88%. Stocks trading at $8, so a big move on there. And we're going to watch names in that healthcare space, especially as we get closer to the election and post-election. Based on who gets in, these names are going to be impacted. Priceline finally is going to be out. Priceline's up about 3.5%. We talked about it this morning, pricing in a potential move of around $88 going into the earnings, so we're going to keep an eye on that. Just some best performing sectors as we closed on the midday. I know we're going a little bit long, but a lot of information that we want to get out there. Taking a look at what's moving actually today and to the upside. With the S&Ps up 2%, we take a look at some of those offensive sectors and see how they're performing. Healthcare is the best performing, up 2.6%, and that's been beat up all year. Those are the names that you're going to want to start looking at. The group in general year-to-date is down 5%. It's up 2.6% today. So you can look at XLV as the ETF. Financials, they are up on the year about 2%, and you see they're up 2.4%. Take a look at XLF. Consumer discretionary, they're flat for the year right now, and they're up 2.2% today and outperforming the S&Ps right now. Industrials, up about 2.1% today, and they're up 9% for the year. So they've been the best performing right now over the last couple of weeks, and you see that they've been performing year to date. Technology, up 10% for the year to date and up 2% today. And energy has been the best performing of the offensive sectors, up 14% year to date and up 1.7% today alone. Consumer staples, year to date, up about 4% and up 1.6% today. Real estate has been under pressure, down year to date about 2%, but has bounced back pretty well today. XLRE is the ETF you can look at. It's up 1.6%. Materials, XLB, up 8% for year to date and up 1.3%. And telecom, IYZ, up about 4% year to date. And currently today up about 1.2%, and then utilities. Utilities are up 0.8%. They've rebounded quite well today. They have been the laggard as far as today's moves, but year to date, the second best return so far year to date, up 12%, and that's XLU if you want to look at the ETF. So that's it for Strategy Now. Gave you some ideas, gave you what's expected to move, some of the strategies and concepts that investors and traders are looking at into the noon hour. We're going to be on at Tech Talk at 3:30 Eastern Time, so join us here at MarketStream.live. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the trading day.